You're about to get a deeper understanding of what it means to drink your portion of the cup of the Lord. And you're going to love this because I'm going to relate this to the Jewish wedding tradition called the Kiddushin, which I'll explain further in the video. So Matthew 26, and he took the cup and gave thanks and handed it to them, the apostles. And he said, all of you drink, for this is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for the remission of sin. Further, Jesus is praying in the garden and he says, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. So this is talking about the suffering and persecution he's going to endure and also the crucifixion. But at the same time, he also knows that he will be resurrected in glory. In Matthew 20, a lady asked Jesus to bring her sons into the kingdom of heaven, but particularly to sit at his left hand and his right hand. And Jesus says, do you know what you ask? Are you able to drink of the cup that I drink of? And she said, we are able. He says to them, you shall indeed drink of my cup. And so anybody who enters the kingdom of heaven will first drink of the cup of the Lord. Now this is what the cup of the Lord looks like. It's both suffering and blessing. It's written in Psalm 23, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Your rod and your staff comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. So the Lord's rod and his staff represent discipline. It is a comfort for David knowing that he is disciplined by the Lord walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Because to him this means that he is a legitimate child of God. So though he is going through such suffering, he also says that the Lord prepares a table before him in the presence of his enemies and that his head is anointed with oil. And we know this oil represents the Holy Spirit. He then says that his cup runs over. And so his cup is filled with trials and tribulations, which is under the discipline of the Lord, yet he is filled with the Holy Spirit and receives blessing. Now this is where it's all going to make sense. The betrothal cup, a ritual called Kiddushin, meaning sanctification and dedication. The future husband, which is Jesus, would pour wine into a cup and offer it to the woman, which is the church. If the woman drank of the cup, it represented her acceptance and the price he paid for her to the Father, the ransom of sins. It also represented her acceptance of faithfulness, that she would wait on him to return, and that she would be with him through the good and the bad, the blessing and the suffering. And so here is the illustration that I've drawn. We have the table in the presence of our enemies, and we have the cup of the Lord in the middle. Surrounding it, we each have our individual portion, whether it is small or great. And so this is what it means to drink of the cup of the Lord.